Yeah, that was 21 years ago, and me and her were both on drugs, and hopefully she can get her act together, because as far as I know, she's still off and on, in and out of it, and I hope for the best for her, but I think she's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, actually. To this day, I still think she looks like a human version of Aladdin, of Jasmine, of Aladdin, of Jasmine from Aladdin. But, you know, people fuck up, people have low self-esteem, people don't think highly of themselves. That's what happened to me. That's exactly what I didn't think good enough about myself, and the drugs made me feel better. The drugs made me feel like I wasn't feeling for myself. It numbed me so that I just didn't care. And, well, it is what it is now. But I'm not going to let other people say who I am, because that's not right. Like, they tried telling me that one day on TikTok that I tried kidnapping my kid. That's a complete lie. I've never tried to take any of my children away from any of their parents. I've never, ever, ever! Except for my oldest daughter, when I got full custody of her and then signed it over stupidly to my son's mother because I didn't want her mother to take her back. It was the dumbest choice I ever made. Because look what they go and do with all that. They turn around and make me out to be this horrible person that I'm not. And that's why I say God is real. Because under my own terms and with God, I trust. I fear nothing except knowing that when I die, my Creator, I will again face. My Creator knows the truth of everything I've done on this planet. Knows the truth of everything other people have done to me and against me on this planet. That's what I said too. These people who did this are all like supposed good people, Christian churchgoers, don't do nothing wrong. But yet, behind closed doors, they're attaching themselves to me and trying to set me up. And it was a complete setup. I wasn't dealing any drugs. I definitely wasn't dealing any drugs. But they were trying to make me look like a trafficker. And that last day in the car with that taxi guy, that John guy, I know his last name, but like I said, I only say so many names in here. He says he wants me to be his main dealer. And I said to him straight up, you can call, the dude said, here's his number, you can just call him, but I don't want to go to him. I want to go through you to get what I want to get. Immediately I got all these red flags going off, like, what the fuck is he really doing right now? And he tells me, I'll give you all the money, all the dope you want, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool, yeah. At this point, just to get out of his fucking car and go what I'm about to go do next, so I agree with it, and I get out of his car, and I go in the house, and I say to Dad, Jody, I said, hey, how do you say something about somebody without incriminating them? He says, you just say you think. Don't say you actually know, but just say it as in question form. So I got on Facebook, and I said, I think John, Megan, Michelle, Angie, I think I named one other person. But I said, I think that they're all actual agents, and they're trying to set me up, informants and cops, and I think they're rats, and they're trying to set me up. I said, I think. And at the same time, I had 3 out of 5 of them pulled up on my messenger that I was talking to, supposedly. And right when I said that, they all dropped at the same time. My phone, my Google search engine gets spammed with 1,000 things. And I'm like, what is really happening right now? So, I knew it was all real. Like, it was really happening. But they did it out of hate. They did it because a few people hated me. And they tried making me look like somebody I wasn't. And that's not fair. That's not what we should be allowed to do to people on this planet, because we don't like them. We just take them out so that the lies we've told their children about them can stay the way they are. Because if they're still alive and walking around outside of prison, then, well, they're not who we said they were, are they? I didn't want for it to come like this, and I don't want to hurt, like I said, any of my children. I don't. For the main part, I'm pretty much convinced that my older two, it's a done deal. They're parents, they've been lied to enough and have hate me enough that there's really nothing I can do about it except hope and pray that they'll want to know the truth one day. With my younger two, well, I'm trying to get custody of my daughter because her mother let her live in a household for over a year where she is being touched by a 52-year-old man and a 19-year-old as well. And I don't agree with that. I don't think that any child should have to suffer like that or have to deal with that kind of stuff or think that that kind of stuff's okay. And then my younger son, he's my best friend. It was. I don't want to hurt him, though, and I definitely don't want to take him away from his family, but I do want to see him. I don't think it's fair that I don't get to see my kids because people hate me. I had an addiction. How many people... it's happening everywhere these days, but how many people come out of it alive and sober with no MAT, no MAT meds or nothing? I've gotten away from the Suboxone. I've gotten away from the methadone. I might take kratom here and there, but I've definitely changed my ways, and I've changed my actions, and I've changed who I am completely. I'm prescribed gabapentin as well, but I had seizures in the past, and I have really bad nerve damage mainly, and like my hands and my arms and my feet, and that's the only thing non-narcotic. And I know they say it's pretty close to a narcotic, but it's the only thing that I can take that I feel safe with, that I also don't abuse. I'm supposed to take 4 times a day, and I take about 3, maybe 4 sometimes, but it is what it is. But God is real, because I found that God listens, and God hears us in our darkest hours, in our weakest parts of life. God opens our eyes and helps us to find and see the truth that we wish to seek. There's no restrictions with God. God doesn't judge you like that while you're alive. God doesn't put you in a category. God created you. God wants to see things through your eyes. That's why there's so many of us. If God wants to experience, it's the best way to experience. Create a bunch of people that can experience for me. That's just one way I look at it. But you know what I know the truth about God is that God knows that I don't know the truth. I see this Bible, and I hear all the religious talks, and I see all the different religions, and God knows that I just want to know God. I just want to know my Creator, and give me a path to that. There's no confusion in that. God knows how I feel inside. God knows that the words I speak out of my mouth are in line with what I'm thinking inside. And I'm not thinking one thing and feeding another story. Because how could and why would you do that? Because even anybody knows, that should know, that no matter what you're thinking to what you're saying, God already knows the inside. So if you don't match that with what's coming out, you don't think that God doesn't know and listen and adhere to understand that? These are things came to light with on my own. I wanted to get baptized so that I could be closer to God, so I could do and be a part of a ritual that's been done with hundreds of thousands of people on this planet, maybe millions. But at least hundreds of thousands of people have went and gotten saved and gotten baptized, and I wanted to be a part of that ritual. And I did. And it changed my life. It changed my life for the better. God knows I fall astray. God, there's so many things my eyes have been opened to, but God also knows I'm not perfect. But also God knows that I'm always thinking inside, praying, not on a constant level, but I'm always trying to do what's right and think the most positive about things. God knows that. I don't have to explain that to anybody. That's my truth with God. And that's why I said in the beginning of this, and that's why I named these God is real because God heard me. God saved my life.